Alves. Good morning, everyone. My name is Marton Rozsahegyi, and I'm honored to be here with you in Yerevan. I'm representing with you today the Rozsahegyi Observatory from Budapest, Hungary. As you can see on my T-shirt, our institution is deeply rooted in historic 127-year-old Konkoly Observatory, named after our famous founder Miklós Konkoly Tege, which is the globally recognized scientific affiliation of our research center of Hungary, CFK. To give you a quick geographical context, Rozsahegyi is actually the name of the beautiful hill in Budapest where these historic domes are located, and we named our interactive science center after it. Today I want to show you why and how we make astronomy something you can actually smell and touch. In 2026, amidst the overwhelming information noise of the world, we have a unique mission, turning science from a passing digital image into a deep, lifelong core memory. Because at Rozsahegyi, we strongly believe that the talent of the future is born from the curiosity of the present. Before I explain how we do it, I must tell you where we are. Last night's visit to the Burakan Observatory was magical. Testing the complex notes of the wine and food and feeling the cool night air reminded us that our most enduring memories are sensory. We remember what we can feel. Our home is the historic site of Konkoly Observatory. Will active research move to modern facilities? Our creative team, led by our Director General and consisting of astronomers, engineers, and passionate amateurs, spent the last 7 years transforming these historic domes into an interactive science experience center. Here is the paradox. Our domes and lecture halls only fit 25 or 50 people at a time, yet we managed to welcome 25,000 visitors last year. We achieved this by turning the observatory into a vibrant training hub. We host and involve IOAA, International Olympiad and Astronomy and Astrophysics participants, and we empower hundreds of community service students and university volunteers to breathe new life into these old walls. We didn't just build an exhibit, we built a thriving community. Astronomy is naturally a visual science. We look through a telescope and we explain what we see. But in 2026, we face a massive challenge, information noise. Let's be honest, it's hard to expect a child to drop their smartphone just because they see a tiny 200 times magnified dot of Jupiter. To break through this noise, we built a specific program called Astronomy for kindergarten and primary school kids, hosted at 10 a.m. and 2 p.m. Our training philosophy is simple. We use our most skilled demonstrators for these young minds. If you can explain gravity, atoms, or why the sky is blue and the sunset is orange to a 5-year-old, you can explain to anyone. But we also design a strict attention span dramaturgy. We know that children and adults also can only focus intensely for about 10 to 50 minutes, so we can constantly break the rhythm. For example, they enter the lecture room. We talk about the sun for 10 minutes, then we move them physically a 2-minute walk to the dome to look through the telescope. Then we walk back for a short 50 minutes to talk about stars, and we finish by letting them physically hold real meteorites. By changing the location and the sensory input every 15 minutes, we keep their brains completely engaged. This leads us to our core principle. Inclusion is not just a charity. Tactile and sensory tools enhance the experience for everyone. When you can touch a crater, walk to a dome, and smell a comet, science becomes an undeniable physical reality. Our colleague before just gave us a fascinating look at AI and YouTube. These are incredible tools, but at Rozsahegyi, we strongly believe in the human edge. While a digital planetarium is impressive, it cannot see the visitor's reaction. In our domes, we look into their eyes. If we see they are lost, we adapt our story in real time until we reach the aha moment. We are not just showing data, we are building a personal bridge to the stars. This bridge extends directly into the corporate and event sector. Whenever a company asks us for a proposal, I always challenge them, give us your most far-fetched, crazy corporate topic, and we guarantee we will find a cosmic connection to it. Astronomy is today completely multidisciplinary, whether it's material science and biology for a tech firm, or sociology or history and literature for a creative agency. We have successfully linked them all to space exploration. This approach makes our science feel incredibly exclusive, elite, and deeply relevant to every professional field. Let's start our sensory journey with our first sense, sight. But at Rozsahegyi, we don't just show images, we show the physics behind the light. We created the spectrum zone, an interactive space where we explain the electromagnetic spectrum from infrared to UV. We want our visitors to understand what different wavelengths reveal about the stars. We don't just lecture, we perform. One of our favorites is the black flame experiment. You can see. By using a sodium lamp, we can show the audience how light is absorbed, creating a shadow that looks like a black flame. We also give everyone diffraction glasses to look at the neon and gas discharge tubes. Suddenly they see the unique fingerprints of atoms, the emission lines. By the end of the session, our visitor don't just see colors. They understand that every ray of light from the cosmos is a data-rich message waiting to be decoded. As we established sight is always the first step in astronomy, but over the years, our goal at Rozsahegyi has been to represent the universe through the lens of all other senses as well. Why? Because an unexpected sensory trigger instantly grabs the visitor's attention, and it remains a powerful experience for a very long time. Our formula is simple. If you connect a memorable experience with a clear, simple explanation, it transforms into lasting knowledge. This is how we created the Planet Sniffing Lab. How many times were you told in a school laboratory, not the smell, the chemicals? Well, at Rozsahegyi, we tell our visitors the exact opposite. We want them to smell the cosmos. Now, I really wanted to bring our official high-quality laboratory samples with me from Budapest, but as you can guess, the airport security officers at customs were not very happy when I tried to board a plane with bottles labeled ammonia, sulfur, liquid methane. So I had to adapt. Yesterday, I went to a local Yerevan supermarket, bought a plastic water bottle. On Titan, it doesn't rain water, it rains liquid hydrocarbons. The whole moon smells kind of like this, a gasoline station merged with a sweet shop. I'm passing this bottle around right now. Please open it, take a quick sniff, and experience the Saturn system for yourself. And please don't drink it. This is the smelling phase, not the tasting one yet. So back home, we have exact chemical recipes for each planet. Of course, because these compounds are highly volatile, we have to constantly refill and maintain them to keep the smells fresh and pungent. But it's absolutely worth the effort. The kids love it, and the adults love that their kids love it so much. It creates a shared family experience. By explaining the Earth-based chemistry behind everyone, especially for children and neurodiverse visitors. Physical touch anchors the abstract concept of space in the real world. We developed a complete 3D tactile universe that follows a specific narrative. We guide our visitors hands from the large-scale structure of the baby universe and the spiral arms of galaxies through stellar system and the spotted surface of the moon down to specific morphology of Mars, Earth, and comet nuclei. To be completely honest with you, when I was packing my bags in Budapest, I had to make a very tough emotional choice between bringing my multi-kilogram fragile 3D printed galaxy models or leaving enough room from my clothes and shoes. As you can see, the shoes and the clothes. But let's do a quick experiment right now. Please touch the surface of the chair in front of you, feel the texture. When we do this at Rozsahegyi with our real 3D models, we use this sensory channel to talk about the formation of celestial bodies, astronomical distances, shapes, and planetary features. We even turned this into a game. We created misery boxes where visitors have to reach through a curtain and guess what celestial object they are touching purely by feel, whether it's a cratered moon surface, the ring of Saturn, or rough comet nucleus. And here is the ultimate psychological trick. When their hands are completely full of these exciting tactile puzzles, they physically cannot reach their smartphones. So their attention is 100 captured. And because they are actively experiencing the object, the dynamic flips, they are the ones who start asking the scientific questions about what they are holding. By using the physical sensation of touch, we lead them to realize that everything is interconnected, from the tiny atoms in our fingertips to the giant stars in the sky. No sound. Okay. One more time. So sometimes to truly understand the cosmos, you need to get your hands dirty. This is where our leaf chemical and physical experiments come into play. As you can see in the video on the slide, one of our most popular programs is comet cooking. We don't just talk about what a comet is made of. We bake one right in front of the audience using water, mud, organic materials, and dry ice. When that frozen gassy smoking comet is ready, we take a hammer and smash it open. Watching a piece of the cosmic past erupt in a cloud of frozen vapor is an absolute core memory for any 10-year-old child. Our other craft favorite tool is our giant solar furnace. Right corner. Okay. So on a sunny day, this lens generates such intense heat that it can melt asphalt or rocks in just a few seconds. We love to tell our visitors in the cafeteria that we don't brew our coffee with electricity, we brew it using photons that traveled 150 million kilometers through space just to heat up their espresso. But why don't we go through all this trouble? Because we know that if we just stood next to a slide, the information would simply fade away. In our incredibly noisy world, even an adult's mind wanders off after a few minutes, let alone a child's. We must realize that the universe is full of breathtaking wonders that anyone can understand. The science is already amazing. Our only job is, as educators, is to interpret in what way to make it impossible to ignore. We have explored sight, smell, and touch, but there is one more sense that can bridge the gap between us and stars, sun. We are currently working on our next big frontier, sonification. This is the process of converting astronomical data into audible frequencies, because the universe is not just a silent picture, it's full of vibrations that we can interpret. So imagine a visitor standing in our historic dome, not just looking at a meteor shower, but listening the actual pings and echoes of meteors and they hit the Earth as they hit the Earth's atmosphere, or listening the eerie haunting winds of Mars recorded by the Perseverance rover, or the thunders in Jupiter clouds. Now, let's a short look under the hood at our operating model. You see a lot of text on this slide. Don't worry, you don't have to read it. It's here to show how the thousands of pages and documentation and hundreds of hours of training videos we have developed for every single lecture and experiment. Our system is open to everyone from high school seniors and university students to pro astronomers and passionate hobbyists. Our public business model operates like a theater or cinema. We sell tickets online for scheduled time slots, mostly from Thursday to Sunday, adding new dates dynamically as they sell out with prices around 12 or 16 euros. Once a month, we hold our Stargate Festival, where 25 staff members host over 600 guests in a single evening. But what about the rest of the week? Outside our public hours, we open our doors to high-end corporate and private events, and we are incredibly flexible. We have hosted major press conferences, 1,000-guest family day for a multinational corporation, workshops for the Chamber of Commerce, lawyer convention, and even a live T-Mobile concert too. These high-budget private events provide a solid financial foundation for our entire center. We capture this premium purchasing power and we use it directly to finance our daily operations and our corporate social responsibility programs. The scale of this operation is what we are most proud of. Last year, we provided work of 200 people. To ensure quality across the massive crew, we use a strict 7-step examination system. Train must escort group 3 times, then assist a senior 3 times, then the 7th occasion is their exam. They lead the group alone, and the senior only intervenes if there is an emergency. So this professional rigor is what allows us to scale from a small dome to a self-sustaining national love brand. Behind all that interactive magic and the hundreds of events, there is a serious structured matrix that defines the daily and monthly operations of Rozsahegyi Observatory. On this slide, you can see our operational framework. On one axis, we balance pure astronomical public outreach with our high-end for-profit B2B events. On the other axis, we connect our creative think tank with our deep commitment to social responsibility and community service. Within this matrix, our team manages incredible variety of tasks every single week. We don't just run a visitor center. We handle a large-scale corporate hosting from concept to execution. We manage our own PR, write our own blogs, and run active media relations. We coordinate talent care by organizing the regional astronomy Olympiad, running observer courses, and developing our own custom-made educational tools and instruments. Over the past few years, we have transformed this massive workload into a highly documented, professional, strategic know-how. We have written thousands of pages of training PDFs and recorded hundreds of hours of instructional videos detailing exactly how to communicate science and manage an interactive center. What we have built is not just a success story for astronomy, it's a fully scalable, marketable blueprint. If someone asked us tomorrow, we could easily take over the operations of a medical visitor science center, an archaeological visitor park, or any other scientific institution, the analogy and the operational system are exactly the same. We have perfected the mechanics of turning complex science into a self-sustaining, highly engaging experience. So the last side, as we reach the final part of our journey, I want to talk about our responsibility towards society. At Rozsahegyi, we believe that in the 21st century, visibility is existence. As my colleague, Laszlo Kis, the CEO of Conclave Observatory, and one of our biggest supporters who makes this whole vision possible, often says, whoever is in the news exists. Whoever is not, doesn't. We take this very seriously. We monitor global space news closely and act as the trusted explainers of the universe on morning radio shows. Schwabhegy has become a genuine love brand in Hungarian media because we prove that science is smart, sexy, and relevant. But we don't just use this fame for ticket sales, we use it for goodwill astronomy. We take our professional portable telescopes to underprivileged regions and small villages, to children who would otherwise never have this chance. And at the end of the day, our favorite moment is when we overhear the kids whispering to each other on their way home, "I want to be an astronomer when I grew up." And now we know that in reality, not all of them will become professional astronomers. And that is completely fine. We aim to support the entire spectrum of the future generation. Some might become astrophysicists, others will become Olympians, data scientists, engineers, or passionate amateur astronomers. But even if they choose a completely different path, we have already won if we turn them into critical thinkers and the science literate newsreaders in a world where fake science and truth are constantly fighting for our attention. To conclude, at Schwabhegy, we have proven that experience-driven science communication is the ultimate bedrock of scientific literacy. To build this literacy in a noisy world, we must constantly monitor our environment and adapt. We must create continuous cycle, invite young minds into outreach, train them, and when they move forward into careers, replace them with the next generation. We must relentlessly develop new interactive tools and manage the entire ecosystem with professional rigor. We must dominate the media, yet always prioritize personal, real-time interaction to ignite genuine enthusiasm. When all these pieces come together, a beautiful transformation happens. Even the most skeptical, bored adult realizes that astronomy, physics, and chemistry are not dry, uninspiring school subjects. They are alive. They carry the actual sense and texture of the universe, and they serve as our ultimate keys to understanding reality. Snora Kalutyon, thank you very much for your attention. You are warmly invited to visit us whenever you are in Budapest. And if you see an opportunity for international collaboration, please reach out to us through any of our channels. Let's keep bridging the gap between humans and stars together.
Thank you so much, Martin, for your beautiful talk. Very fun, beautiful, and immersive work. Congratulations. Sadly, we cannot take right now any questions because already past the time. Martin is here. You can ask him all the questions you like. And for the online attendees, also you can send your question on the Q&A, and he will definitely reply to you. Yeah, let's have an applause for Martin again. Okay, now for our next presenter, online presenter, Anna, I just want to make sure if she's here with us. Anna Carolina from Brazil. Carolina, sorry. Anna Carolina from Brazil. She's online with us. Okay, Anna, she'll talk to us about Call Me by My Sign, co-creating glossary for science music.
Okay, so I do not hear the stage, but I think I can continue.
Yes, you
If
can
you,
continue.
oh, perfect, I can hear you. Well, hello everyone. Good morning. My name is Ana Vicente, and do it. Okay, I'm back. This is my sign in sign language. It's a letter C in the chain, touching the chain while smiling. For those who cannot see me, I am a young woman with light skin, dark short hair, curly hair. And today I'm gonna talk about this initiative we have in Brazil that has been doing that has been created by my research group here in Brazil, the MCCAC, and it involves creating a glossary for the science museums and planetarium names. And I'm going to talk about, I already saw there is a question, what is a sign? I'm going to talk about what is a sign and what we did in collaboration with the DAF community. So I believe it's well established in our field that science museums and planetarium, they have a very important role in astronomy outreach, communication, and education. So because of all this potential, educational potential, they should be and they must be accessible for everyone. However, in diverse studies with the DAF visitors, with the DAF community, they've been noticing that those spaces, they usually present diverse barriers uh, with the DAF community. And with the deaf community, I mean people who has the first language as sign language. And those barriers usually overlook linguistic and cultural needs of the deaf community because they have particular linguistic and cultural needs. For instance, those venues usually do not have deaf people in the staff or staff that speak sign language or interpreters or visual resources. So the deaf community goes to those places and face barriers to engage with the exhibition, with the activities, and with the knowledge that is being there communicated. And very often, these barriers can even start before they arrive in the museum and involves the museum names. And why is that? Museum names, they are usually in the oral language form. What do I mean with oral language? For instance, the language I'm speaking right now, English, is an oral language. And they do not have translation in sign language because sign language involves signs that represents terms, nouns, and verbs. So the museum name should have a sign that represents the museum name. This sign, not necessarily it's the literal translation of the museum name. It can be representing the museum itself, the uniqueness of the museum, its characteristic. For instance, here I have a picture of the Museum of Tomorrow that is here in Brazil. And if you will literal translate, it will be the sign in Brazilian sign language because every sign language is unique in your own community. So in Brazilian sign language, you have the word for museum and the word for tomorrow. But the sign of the museum actually is used in the two arms because it represents the unique shape of the museum. So when we do this, we know exactly the place we're talking about. And how a museum or a planetarium gets a sign? Well, it has to be baptized by a deaf person, by the deaf community. It's the deaf people who gives the museum a sign. So for this venue, for this institution to have a sign, they have to be close to the deaf community. They have to be involved with the deaf community. They have to be known by the deaf community. That's why it's so important to foster that planetariums and science museums get closer to deaf community, not only to receive a sign, of course, but also to foster other activities, a great engagement between astronomy knowledge and the deaf people. So now I'm going to talk about the initiative itself. It's been an ongoing initiative since 2021. And it was created by our research group, the Science Accessible Science Museum and centers. And our biggest goal was, first of all, to raise awareness about the importance of science museums and planetariums to have a sign, to foster proximity with the deaf community and those spaces, and of course to disseminate the science so everyone could know each other's signs, and also the deaf community know the sign of the museum. How did we do that? First of all, we delivered a bilingual invitation. We created a bilingual invitation that involves the Portuguese, a Portuguese version and a sign language version. Portuguese is our native language here in Brazil, and the sign language that is called Libras, the Brazilian Sign Language. We shared this invitation with the deaf community, our network with the deaf community and the SAIS communicators. And this video, this invitation, it has the instructions for the people who would like to apply for video, for send them their videos, to how they would do. So everything is sign language, showing the name of the museum, so they would have to spell and then show the sign. Okay. The second step, we would gather those videos and add other accessibility resources. The videos were in sign language, so there are people who doesn't know sign language. So we would add, for instance, subtitles, translation of the sign language. We would also add audio description, because we would ensure that people with visual impairment would have also access to know how is this. And the third one, we would upload and share those videos in an online platform that here I'm gonna share with you the platform, but here is the screenshot of the invitation. And here is the QR codes with the platform, for platform, so you can take a picture and access and take a look in our initiative. As a result, we had 85 signs. Like since 2021, we received 85 videos from 79 institutions, and there are more signs than videos because some people send the videos for one institution more than once. And we also use it because we want to share the effort that everyone put to participate. So we gather all the signs in the platform. We receive videos from different types of museums, so history and arts, science, planetariums. So it's very multiple. But regarding the focus on the today presentation, we received 34 videos of science museums and planetariums. And here I have some examples of the videos we received from 3 different institutions in Brazil. Some major aspects that popped out throughout our experience, I'm bringing here. The first one is the geography of the signs that we received. As you can see in the map, there is a dark blue part that is where we receive more videos, and is in the one single region in Brazil where it's more concentrated. So it does not represent the whole Brazil territory towards museums and planetariums. So it's very unequal. And funnily enough, this also represents the unequal distribution of science museum and planetariums in Brazil that is also concentrated in the southwest region of Brazil. But still lacking. There are still museums in those gray areas that is not represented in our glossary. So we can see that we still have put some effort to both communicate, to connect with astronomers, with science communicators in those regions, but also with the deaf community in those regions. We also had, although we had a very nice expressive number of videos received on science museum planetariums, it's still very low percentage of the total amount. We have more than 400 museums, science museums in Brazil, so we still have a lot to do. We still have to engage and put still some effort. And One reason that we receive low amount of videos on one hand is because the Science Museum planetarians, they didn't know if they had a sign. For instance, they would act like they would email us and say, hey, I want to participate, but I don't have a sign. I don't know if I have a sign. And that's very symptomatic. We know that they do not have contact with the deaf community. On the other hand, there were institutions that talked to us and they were like, I don't know if I have a sign, but I want to have. What do I do? What should I do? And we also have positive experience of institutions that foster this connection with the deaf community. They did, for instance, contests for baptizing the science institution. So we have also very positive experience. And we know that our goal of raising awareness and fostering this proximity is being achieved. Slowly, but it is. So to wrap up a little bit, we know that giving a sign for a museum name is still do not solve all the accessibility and inclusion problems in science museums and planetarium. It's a very small step, but is a necessary step. We must give it because it's this first welcoming aspect of going to these spaces, and it's an important one because it's how the deaf community will know that space and will be willing to go there. And most important is an intentional one, is the institution willing also to foster this proximity. I know I've been focusing in the Brazilian contest, but of course this tool, this strategy, this project is easy to reproduce in other contexts. So I am here to encourage you to do this as well in your territories, in your communities, in your countries. We want this initiative to spread globally. And in our experience, we saw that linguistic and cultural exclusion of deaf community is still a reality. We're still in this slow process of changing it, but also we saw that this change is possible, especially with participatory and collaborative initiatives, projects in astronomy communication. We recently wrote a paper about this, so if you want to know more, like I know I talk here very fast, but step by step, and to know more about sign language, I'm inviting you to read our text. It's very short. I hope you like it. And that's it. Thank you so much for your attention. I know it was very fast. Here, there's a QR code if you want to know more about our research group in Brazil. And also, I'm going to give another presentations today talking about the projects, and I would love to have you, especially if you want to know more. Thank you so much. Oh, and in the deaf community, we applause like this. So if you want to do like this, it would be nice. And I'm not seeing the stage, by the way. I just realized if the stage is talking to me, I'm not watching. Sorry, I'm not seeing you. Oh, now I am. But I'm not hearing you because you're mute.
So we're having a little bit of a trouble. Let us just a second and check in what's happened with the on-site audio.
No problem. I can, if they can hear me, I can read the read the questions and answer the questions. But I saw in the beginning someone asked about what is a sign. I hope I think I answered that. You can tell me if it was not clear enough. Um, Oh, I'm seeing here about the dark T-shirt. Actually, it was not.
Yeah, she's talking with the online. She cannot hear us.
Oh, now I can.
Okay. Anna, can you hear us?
Yes, I can.
Oh, finally! Hey! Okay, we have a couple of questions to you. I'll take only one question from here. Yeah? Okay.
Thank you very much, Anna, for your talk. It is pretty interesting. So, my question is about I know that in every place there is their own signal language. So, do you think that it is possible to homogenize the at least the astronomy signals to use in almost all the world?
I can answer. Alrighty, right. It's a very good question. Though sign language is very unique for its own community, their own community, and there is a universal sign language. I don't know it. I'm gonna be totally honest. I don't know it, but I still think they are developing some signs because there is a lack of signs for scientific terms. But I believe there is also like a strategy approach that astronomy communication can face. But of course, we cannot do that without the deaf community. It's the first step. We have to foster this proximity between astronomy communication and the deaf community, so we can develop more and more science. But also, science they are very visual. So what also happens is that sometimes you're talking to someone from another sign language, but you identify easily the sign because of the because it's visual. I'm not saying that happens to all of the signs, but sometimes you can see and you're like, oh, like for instance, sun in Brazilian sign language is like this, and in Dutch sign language is the same. So you're like, okay, it's the same. There are some overlaps.
Thank you so much once again. Let's thank her with the sign language. Thank you, Anna. Bye bye. Okay, you guys can go ahead with your coffee break. Thank you.